Hey guys, it's Christine, also known as IvyWinter. Thank you for joining me for another video. Today's video, I just want to talk about Pandora because it's amazing and I just want to talk about it a lot. If you have already seen my day one, part two of the July vlog, then you've already kind of seen some of my initial visceral reactions to Pandora. And I wanted to make a separate video that like really just talks about my thoughts on Pandora, especially coming from somebody who was really skeptical when they announced the whole Avatar Land idea. So for all of you people who want to be spoiler free, I'm going to talk for a few minutes just in general about it. No spoilers, I promise. And when I do start talking about things in detail, I will give you a fair warning. So if you don't want to know anything, which I don't blame you, I went in without knowing anything, then you'll know when to get the heck out of here. So let's just talk about Pandora as a whole for a second. I was one of those people that when Avatar Land was announced, I was really skeptical. I didn't love the movie. I thought it was fine. I thought, yes, it was visually appealing and different for the time. Nothing about the storyline was interesting or new. It felt like Fern Gully, it felt like Pocahontas, it was like all of these other movies, same sort of premise. There was nothing all that interesting to me. No other movies came out, even though James Cameron talked about doing them for a while, and it just died. And then Disney all of a sudden goes, hey, we're gonna make an Avatar Land, and that made no sense to me. I was one of those people who was in the boat of like, I wanted that fantasy like Dragonland that they had first initially thought about doing, which is why when you see the Animal Kingdom sign, there's actually a dragon on it. They wanted to do a whole section that was like all these mythical creatures. That I wanted. And I was so upset that like, why are they not doing that and they're doing this Avatar Land? Like, who cares? This is some weird buy-in, tie-in, whatever. This is dumb. Nobody cares about the movie anymore. Disney, terrible decision. Man, was I wrong. And I am totally fine with admitting that I was wrong. I thought that you would have to really love the movie to enjoy Pandora, and I thought that there was such a large gap culturally of when the movie came out and when this opened that it just wasn't gonna resonate and it was gonna bomb. And I had a lot of faith in Joe Rohde mostly, but like I was worried, you know? And they really proved me wrong, and I think they're gonna prove a lot of other people wrong, especially those who haven't been there yet, who might be as skeptical as I was. It's still just such a beautiful land and a beautiful world, and they did it right where you really do not need to know a damn thing about the movie. You could walk in there and still appreciate what Pandora has to offer with the information that they give you there, and still understand everything that's going on, and not feel lost, not feel left out, not feel like you need to be some diehard fan to get it. Visually, Pandora is amazing. I couldn't really get that across in my vlogs. I feel like, you know, that's kind of the situation in a lot of vlogs, right? Like, you will never get across on camera or in a photo the kind of enormity of something that you see. You can't take a photo of the Grand Canyon and really convey the vastness of the Grand Canyon. Much in the way that I can't take a photo of Pandora and really convey how amazing those floating rocks look and how detailed the you know, gardens and jungles are, and what it feels like to be enveloped in the sound of the animals and the insects and all of that around you. I can't convey that in any sort of way through the vlog. I mean, I can in some way, but when I was editing it and kind of going back, it was just like, this isn't it. Like, you guys have to go and experience this. Like I said, the floating rocks are definitely the focal point. They're beautiful. I don't know how they did it. It is amazing. I would like to go do some research now and figure out how they did it because it's totally amazing. Beautiful waterfalls, beautiful gardens, beautiful little paths to walk around that you can just get lost in. You know, granted, it was still really busy when I went. This is new and it's gonna be busy for a while. I can imagine though that however long it takes, 6 months, a year plus, to become more of a normal crowd is gonna be even more amazing, because you're really gonna find those quiet spots and those like moments to kind of just enjoy what's going on around you. I can speak to the food. The food is delicious. The canteen is wonderful. You go, it's kind of almost like a Chipotle. It's like a build your own. You choose a base, you choose a protein, you choose like a sauce that you want with it, and 2 sides. And it's pretty healthy and pretty fresh and tastes delicious. It was probably one of the better quick services I've ever had in Disney. And despite being pretty busy, they were very efficient. So that was really great to see as well. But I totally highly recommend it. I feel like Animal Kingdom is lacking a little bit in food. I am not a big fan of Yak and Yeti. I think I'm a little biased. I come from New York where we have really good Chinese food, and going to Yak and Yeti, it just wasn't the same. So I'm not a really big fan of it. I haven't eaten at Tiffin's yet, but again, that's sit down and a little bit pricey. You know, there are a couple good places. I do like the Harambe Market, but if you want something a little more substantial, I would say the canteen 100%, like make that part of your stop when you're in Animal Kingdom. I feel like I'm gonna eat there like every time I'm in Animal Kingdom now. Pandora as a whole, day versus night, I think you need to see both. I think during the daytime you can really see and appreciate all the little details in the plants and the gardens and the flowers and all of that are hard to see at night. But at night, the bioluminescence is beautiful. There are a lot of people who have kind of crapped on it and been like, whatever, it's just black lights and like glowing stuff and it's not that impressive. I think it's impressive. It's a whole land of that stuff and it's impressive. The floor glows, the plants glow. Okay guys, this is now going to spoiler territory. I'm gonna start talking about Flight of Passage. I'm gonna start talking about the Navi River journey. So if you do not want to know anything about either of those rides, now is your time to get the heck out of here. Go watch my vlogs, go watch something else. I don't know, just get out of here because I'm doing it. I'm laying it all out there. Flight of Passage, best ride in all of Disney World, hands down. Blew my other favorite, which is Mission Space, out of the water. I know Mission Space is getting a refurb. Who knows what it's gonna be like now? Maybe it's gonna be great. I still don't think that it's gonna be Flight of Passage. That's how excited I am about this ride. The queue is beautiful. I didn't really get to spend a lot of time outside because even when I did standby, I kind of walked right through the outside until I got inside. Great news if you were a single rider. Although they do not have a single rider line, like from the outside, you still get to go down your own lane when they're starting to ask numbers, and they will put you right on wherever they need you. So basically, there are like 3 lanes. There's a bunch of rooms that you can go into, like a lot. They have a lot of loading bays so that this goes pretty quickly. But they might put some groups here and some groups here, and then there's a middle lane. And if you're one person, only single people get to go in that middle lane, and you're literally there to fill in holes, and it is very quick. Like I was like, oh, I'm one. I walked through, I was the only one in the lane. They immediately put me on as like the last person in the next room that was about to go. So I was on it like that. After that, you go into 2 pre-shows. So there's one pre-show where you are explained what it means to link to an avatar, how that is done. You're going to link to an avatar to be able to ride a Banshee. So they explain this. They have a cool little thing where they like link you to an avatar and pick one that matches your DNA. They kind of explain the whole process and why this is so revolutionary. You go from that area into the next pre-show, which is basically your safety instructions. How do you get on the bike? How do you sit? You know, what's gonna happen with the restraints and all of that. The bike is a little weird at first. I remember being like, oh my God, how the heck am I gonna get on this thing? The way that they tell you to do it is actually pretty smart. So you straddle the bike and then you walk forward before you sit down, like get as forward as you can, and then sit. And when you sit, your chest is gonna be leaning against a pad and these back restraints are gonna come in behind you. Not super comfortable at first, a little weird at first. I was like, well, this is kind of strange. But basically it's like being on a motorcycle, but like strapped in from both sides. You wear your 3D glasses and you're good to go. My one complaint about the 3D glasses, they are very big. I thought it was just me, but I have actually heard this from several people. They are very loose on your face. They didn't seem to fit very well. I felt like I was going to lose them during the ride. I I don't know if it's just me. I would love to know if you guys have experienced it and thought the same. It was just weird and kept feeling like it was gonna fall off my face, which was not very comfortable. So the ride starts, and I mean, I can't go through a play-by-play of the whole ride because I've only ridden it twice, but I can tell you that it is amazing. I can tell you that every time that you dip and you drop, it feels like you're dropping, but not in like a crazy, I mean, you know you're safe, you know, and you know you're in this simulator, but it's really impressive the way that they can make you feel. They have some great moments where water is splashing you in the face, where you have, you know, animals that are like right up in front of you. They have a wonderful, beautiful moment where they slow down in one of the caves where all those like glowing things are, and it just kind of slows everything down for a moment. It's just really beautiful. It just gives you a chance to look around and be like, wow, this is like so detailed and so crisp and so amazing. And then you're right back in it again, and it's really exciting. One of the things that I thought was absolutely amazing is that when you're sitting on the bike, you can feel your Banshee breathing. And it took me a little while to realize what that was. But when I realized that it was supposed to be the breathing on the side of your Banshee that you're feeling like just between your legs, as if you were really riding on this animal, mind blown. Like, that is the kind of detail that I don't think a Universal or any other kind of park would do, but Disney thought of this detail. And there's even a moment where you're taking off where you feel almost kind of like this woof on the side of your legs, and it's supposed to be like the feeling of the wings flapping as you're like taking off again. Like, there's just these amazing visceral reactions and like feelings while you're dealing with what you're seeing on the screen. The music, the soundtrack, oh God, guys, it's so good. Like, I have been looking up the ride on YouTube and just listening to the soundtrack because it's just so verbose and amazing. And like, yeah, they take the theme from the movie, but they just build it up in this like amazing way. I can't. I think I've said enough. It is seriously my favorite ride in all of Disney World now. I just cannot believe how amazing it is. It is worth the wait. 3 hours, maybe not so much, but if you're waiting even 2 hours, come on guys. You know you did it for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. This is way better than Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Moving on to Navi River Journey, this is gonna be the last part of my video. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful dark ride. I think that you can't compare the two. They're very different. Flight of Passage is very thrilling, very immersive. Navi River Journey is just a dark ride. I think it does dark rides very well in a very new and interesting way. Again, you get to experience that bioluminescence, so if you can't come at night to Pandora, you will get to see what that's kind of supposed to look like in the Navi River Journey. They have a combination of screens that they use, which I think are used well. I don't think that they're too jarring or anything. They have this one part that I thought was really cool, where like you're going under these big leaves above you, and it's like these frogs are like walking around on them, and you see the shadow of the frogs and kind of like the weight of it move the leaves. It was like really impressive. And again, soundtrack here, guys. Soundtrack is everything. It starts with nothing, no music, and then there's like a very slow build into this specific tune that the Shaman of Songs is singing. Starts to build up when you start to see all the Navi, and you know, things become just more and more visually arresting, and then you get to the shaman, who is the most impressive thing I've ever seen. Like, I just was like, please let my boat just break down right now so I can just watch the shaman move for like 10 minutes, because unbelievable. I mean, if you think Hank in the Tank is impressive, the shaman is unbelievable. The way its head moves, its hands move, everything. It's just really, really, really impressive. And at that point, you've kind of hit the climax, and the music is really up there and they're singing, and it's like very beautiful. It's a lot more moving than I was sort of expecting. And then that's it. That's the end of the ride. I think the ride, I think it's somewhere like 4 minutes. Maybe it's a little longer. It felt very fast, but then when I went back and reflected on what I recorded and like other people's recordings, maybe it's not that fast. It just kind of felt it, I guess, because it was new and I just wanted all of it all the time. I just wanted more. But it is just a beautiful ride. It's super beautiful. I enjoy it a lot. And like, I skip some dark rides now in Fantasyland because I feel like I've done them quite a bit. At least maybe because it's new. I feel like I wouldn't really skip this the next few trips. I would try to make an effort to go. I do think that sometimes the longer lines aren't worth it. I did get to see it on Extra Magic Hour Night, 25-minute wait-ish. That was a really good time. Maybe I would do 45 minutes. I think anything over 45 minutes is just kind of a lot. Again, that popularity is gonna die down. So even if you're going next year, you're probably gonna be in a better space, that it's not gonna be as crazy. Anyway, so those are all of my thoughts on the rides, on the theming, on all of that. I think Pandora is amazing. I kept saying I didn't want to leave. I wanted to just live there. Like I said, it doesn't even feel like you're in Animal Kingdom. You forget, and then you walk out and you're like, oh yeah, now I'm in Africa now. Oh, okay, you know, like, yeah, I'm in Animal Kingdom, but like it doesn't feel that way when you're in there. And just, I highly recommend taking the time to take in your surroundings, your details, enjoy the sounds around you, the sounds of the big animals walking through the forest and the insects and all of that. Definitely take your PhotoPass photos. They take beautiful photos, and just enjoy it, guys. It's definitely different, and it's something really, really special. And like I said, I was wrong. So I am totally fine admitting I was wrong. It's just amazing. Anyway, thank you for watching another video. I would love to know your thoughts on Pandora below. If you haven't been yet, what are you most looking forward to? I'd like to hear that as well, so leave me a comment below. If you like this video, then like it. If you like me, then you should subscribe because I make videos like this all the time. So thank you for checking another one out, and I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. Bye.